You need an MCP server, but not just any MCP server, right? No. You need a secure MCP server, right? One that only you and your agents have access to. I know how to do that. Let me show y'all exactly how I go through and do that, all right?
Hello YouTube, welcome to Chief Guapo Codes, where the most handsome coder on YouTube shows you how to code cool projects like this.
So the first thing we're gonna do is actually go over what the end result is gonna be, all right? The end result is gonna be UVcorn running a FastAPI instance with a mounted FastMCP server, all secured with JWT, all right? Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, because I know it sounds a little bit technical, but trust me, bro, it's actually mad easy, all right? Take a look at server.py right here, right? First thing we're gonna do is go through all of our imports, right? We just need FastMCP. You can ignore this. This is for the tools and stuff like that. We need UVcorn, we need FastAPI, and from FastMCP, we're gonna import create SSE app, right? This is gonna be the thing that we actually mount to the FastAPI instance, all right? Other than that, we really just need this base model, HTTP exception, right? And then JWT right here. So then we're gonna set the host and the port. This is where the server is actually gonna be run, right? Right here, we're gonna set the security configuration. This is all the stuff that you need for just like encoding the tokens and verifying the tokens, right? This token API key, this can be whatever you want. Same with the JWT secret, right? These two strings can be whatever you want, right? But the API key, this is what we're actually gonna pass to the server in order to request a token. Does that make sense? Then we set the auth exempt paths. These are the places you can go on the server, right? When you're talking to the FastAPI server, these are the places you can go that you don't need a token, right? So you don't need a token to request a token. That doesn't make any sense, right? You don't need a token to check the health or the documentation and stuff like that, right? All right, so then this function right here is gonna create the token. And this is just using this security conf, right, that we went over to encode the token and then return it to the user. The verify token function is kind of just the reverse of that, right? It receives a token, make sure it was encoded and properly by our server and it's not expired. Then that's all handled with the JWT Auth ASCII middleware. So this right here, you could think of it as kind of like a gate, right? So everything behind, all the endpoints behind any of the paths that aren't in that exempt paths, right? They're gonna require a token, and that's what this middleware is gonna do. It's gonna make sure that anything coming in has that bearer token authorization in the headers that we pass to the API requests. And then the easy part right here is actually just setting it all up. So initialize the FastAPI app, right? This little health endpoint, just make sure the server's running. This is the token request class. This is what we're actually gonna pass to this right here, this /auth/token endpoint. We're gonna pass in a token request and it's gonna have the API key, right? And if it matches, we're gonna create the token and then return it to the user, right? You don't have to have just a static one API key. You can load this in from a database or whatever you want to do, right? Security wise, for the sake of simplicity for this video, we just had the single API key that we're just gonna pass in, right? All right, so then moving on to the MCP stuff. So initialize a FastMCP server, literally just set the name equal to whatever you want the name to be, right? Then MCP app, this is where you create the SSE app, that function we imported earlier. Pass in the server as the server parameter, defines SSE path is /SSE, message path /SSE /message, right? Then we mount the MCP app, not the MCP server, but the MCP app to the FastAPI app. All right, that's very important. You're mounting the MCP app, not the MCP server. All right, mount that to the FastAPI app. All right, this is just registering the tools and stuff like that. It's actually kind of slick. I'll show you in another video how I go about doing that. But then we wrap the whole FastAPI app in that JWT Auth ASCII middleware. We use UVcorn to run the whole thing. So we're gonna run it at the host and the port that we defined earlier. So if we come here, you'll see, boom, we loaded in the tools and we're up and running on the IP address and the port 8999. Then this little test script right here will show you exactly that everything's working how we want it to. So what this is gonna do is gonna actually target that server, right? And at that port, then we're gonna check that health endpoint and everything's okay, it's up and running. Check that we can get a token with the API key, so that's good. up and running, the unauthorized token. So this means we tried to request a token and we did not have the right API key. That failed, so that's good. That's exactly what we wanted. Then we tried to access SSE without a token. That failed, and that's also what we wanted. These last two lines, right? We tried to hit the MCP. We got the API key, passed it in, got the token, used the token to talk to the MCP server. All of that worked, flawless, is perfect, right? Come over back to the MCP server, you can see this is all working properly. So now that you got that in, y'all go ahead, secure your servers, keep them safe, right? Only you and your agents talk to them, all right? Don't let nobody else talk to your server, all right? That's your server, that's your baby. See what I'm saying? All right, anyway. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one, all right? God bless you.
If you like this video and want to see more from this handsome coder, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, turn on noties, and leave a comment what you want to see next. As always, the link to the repo is in the description if you want this code for yourself. Happy coding, love!